What's up, guys? It's Pride here, and today I want to talk about Future Trunks from Dragon Ball Super. And more specifically, I want to discuss what if Future Trunks stayed in the current timeline and went all the way up into the Granola arc. I should point out, I know I'm not the only one to go over Future Trunks what ifs. However, I'm pretty sure not many people, or anyone, has really talked about how far Trunks went after the Tournament of Power, or if they even got to the Tournament of Power at all. Not only that, people are going to be going with the Future Trunks from the anime. Because I'm going all the way to the Granola arc, I'm going to be using Future Trunks only from the manga. That makes a difference because Trunks from the manga and the anime are vastly different from each other. They don't have the same feats, nor do they have the same abilities. And that's actually going to be important for this video because that impacts a lot of what's going to happen for the Tournament of Power. But before we get into any of that, I just want to say I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like and comment down below. Don't forget to subscribe. I'll very much appreciate it. And with that out of the way, let's go over Future Trunks and what happens next after he chose to stay. The fight with Goku Black has come to an end. Goku, Vegeta, and Trunks came out of the fight stronger than when they first went into it. Trunks even finding out that he has the ability to heal other people. This is one of the biggest differences between the anime Trunks and the manga Trunks. In the anime, Trunks squeezed out a little bit of godly power and got Super Saiyan Rage. That transformation is pretty much similar to False Super Saiyan that Goku did that one time in that one movie. Obviously not canon. Anyway, the Trunks in the manga does not have this transformation, at least not yet. Continuing on with the story, Trunks and Mai decide to stay in the current timeline, and for obvious reasons, they decide to take a little break and a little bit of downtime for themselves to enjoy the peaceful air. After a couple of months, Bulma announces that she is pregnant, and not too long after this, Trunks and Mai decide to actually get married. And during all of this downtime, Trunks decides to also reconnect and reach out with Gohan. They talk, they share stories of each other's lives, the hardships that they both went through since they last seen each other, and they sometimes spar, seeing how Gohan wanted to at least stay in shape. The sparring sessions aren't too serious, so even though Gohan gets stronger, he's still a little bit weaker than Trunks. Things go like this for a while. Time flies by and there's only 5 months left until Bulma gives birth. With this in Trunks' mind, he starts to think about all the people that he really truly cares for. Gohan, his mentor, Mai, his wife, and Bulma, who is his mom, and is also giving birth to his new sibling. He wishes for them to all have a peaceful life, and not to live the nightmare that he had to endure for himself. Resolved in his choice, he goes and gets into contact with the Kais in order to train with them. Trunks does this for various reasons. It's a win-win for him regardless of how you look at it, especially in the manga. This version of Trunks has already been an apprentice with Supreme Kai before, and he gets to oversee and protect not only his world, but all of the remaining 28 worlds in the universe. He could have went to train with Beerus and Whis, and Whis would have allowed it. However, he notices that Goku and Vegeta are only training with Whis because they like to fight for the fun of it. Trunks is really fighting to make sure that everybody stays safe, and so that way a repeat of Goku Black really never happens again. Also, he doesn't want to accidentally earn the title of God of Destruction if he gets to that point. It really wouldn't sit well with him. So again, training with the Kais are pretty much the most optimal solution. Fast forward 5 months and Trunks' training is going very well, especially with the addition of Elder Kai in this timeline. This really speeds up Trunks' progress because even though Elder Kai is pretty much a perfect sage, he's still a very wise Kai and actually has valuable lessons to teach Trunks. In the span of the 5 months, Trunks has learned a lot of the Kai's techniques, and he also has upgraded his healing abilities so that way he can heal a little bit easier and more people, similar if not better than that of Dende. At this point, Trunks has just now actually finished his training session with Kaibido, which involves combat telekinesis. Trunks has gotten very proficient at this, when all of a sudden, Whis shows up saying that Supreme Kai has been summoned for an audience with the Grand Priest. Beerus looks furious and nervous at the same time, while Whis is in a relatively good mood. Supreme Kai asks Whis if Trunks can also come. Reasons giving, this would be a good experience for Trunks as an apprentice, and also because he's an apprentice, it's only right that he gets to meet the Grand Priest at least once. Whis agrees with this, for it does make sense and it might be a little bit interesting for him, and so they gather around for the summoning. Trunks is a little bit nervous, but he's also honored to be showing up. They get summoned, and Trunks looks around briefly and notices that there are multiple angels, gods of destruction, and other Kais from every universe also here. And he also sees Goku off to the side with the 2 Zenos. This is when Grand Priest asks who the mortal Topo is, and Belmont the God of Destruction of Universe 11, explains that Toppo is a God of Destruction in training. And that's when the Grand Priest looks towards Beerus and he asks who the mortal Trunks is. And that's when Supreme Kai speaks up and tells the Grand Priest that Trunks is also an apprentice of the Kais. Trunks is very respectful, and I believe that this will be where Goku tells the Xenos how Trunks is a very good guy, even though he's been through a lot of hard times. Goku doesn't say this quietly, however, so everybody from every universe realizes that Goku actually has a pretty good relationship with both the Xenos. And that's when the Grand Priest explains that the two Xenos wants to see a tournament, and because one of them has never even seen the first tournament, the Grand Priest asks for an example from the Gods of Destruction. Their example doesn't really go too well, making the Xenos look like they just want to destroy everybody and everyone right then and there. However, the rules changed a bit, and it is now the Mortals' turn to give Zeno an example of what a tournament could possibly look like. And this is another difference that happens in this iteration. Instead of Goku fighting Toppo, the Grand Priest will actually want the apprentice Trunks to fight the God of Destruction in training, Toppo. The Xenos are very excited about this. They all want to actually see this play out. The fight starts out and Trunks is actually doing very well. In fact, Trunks is doing better in this iteration than Goku did when he was fighting Toppo. And this is because Trunks is a little bit more skillful than Goku. This was actually shown in the manga when Trunks fought Goku for the first time, and they were seemingly even in every transformation. But Trunks was always a little bit ahead and a little bit more skillful, which even Whis points out. It should also be noted that when Trunks can only cap out at Super Saiyan 2, it is just as strong as Goku's Super Saiyan 3. Now I do know that that was before Goku fought Goku Black, but as I said, everyone got a power boost after that arc, and Trunks a little bit more so, mostly because he still benefits from Zenkai boost while Goku and Vegeta really don't. So if anything, nothing really changed. Trunks caps out at Super Saiyan 2, but it does just as well, if not a tad bit better than Goku in Super Saiyan 3. However, even though Trunks is doing reasonably well, that's nowhere near enough, because Toppo is just too strong. He can clash with Super Saiyan Blue after all, so Super Saiyan 3 or Super Saiyan 2 Trunks really isn't too much of a problem. Toppo tells Trunks if this is your last transformation, then it's about time to end this fight. Knowing that Toppo plans to just finish this fight, Trunks plays a gamble, hoping to knock Toppo out of the ring. Trunks announced that he has one more transformation and that he emphasized that he'll beat power with power. Then he proceeds to buff himself up exactly what he did to Vegeta, except Toppo doesn't know the play behind this power up like Vegeta does. With this in mind, Trunks charges Toppo, but Toppo notices that there is a massive speed difference, and he then becomes disappointed and goes to knock Trunks out, thinking that Trunks is relying too much on power and that Trunks is being naive. However, to Toppo's surprise, Trunks shrinks back down just as he's about to get counter hit, and Trunks throws out a counter of his own with his newly learned telekinesis. This surprises Toppo and is enough to catch him off guard and bounce him out of battle, with Trunks saying that he doesn't have to be the strongest in order to win. Toppo says back to him that might have worked this time, but not only would it not work again, there is someone in his own universe that is far stronger than Toppo, so there's nothing real for him to worry about. That is when Trunks has the last word, for he says that he isn't even in the strongest in his own universe, that Goku and Vegeta are both vastly stronger than him. So he has nothing to worry about. It is at this point that everybody heads back to their own respective universes. With only 39 hours left to prepare, Supreme Kai takes Trunks away, saying that before Trunks goes into the tournament, Elder Kai must perform a ritual for you. This ritual is supposed to be performed on Trunks after Trunks graduated from his apprenticeship. However, desperate times calls for desperate measures. This leaves Goku to do his regular recruitment, trying to get Majin Buu and Android 17 onto the team. This goes smoothly besides Majin Buu, where there's 37 hours left and they find out that Majin Buu cannot wake up for at least a couple of months. However, Goku doesn't get Frieza to join the team, because with the addition of Trunks, there is still a couple of options. That still leaves Master Roshi, Tien, and Krillin. So instead of Frieza being in the final roster for the Tournament of Power, Frieza is now swapped out. This is going to greatly impact how the Tournament of Power actually goes. Trunks comes back with a little over an hour to spare, as the ritual for Trunks has just ended. It took a long time, but that's because Trunks has never had his potential unlocked before. Instead of the 30 hours that had happened for Gohan, it took Trunks 37 hours. Gohan notices how different Trunks is and how much stronger Trunks has gotten just off the air around Trunks. Trunks can also sense that Gohan has also gotten stronger and is actually surprised by this. Vegeta wanted to see how strong Trunks actually is, decides to spar with Trunks one more time before they actually get going. And Vegeta is actually surprised when Trunks, going at full power, is just as strong as Vegeta in Super Saiyan Blue. This actually makes it so that way Gohan is relative to Vegeta and Goku in Super Saiyan Blue, but Trunks is actually their equal, or at least as realistically their equal as he could possibly be at this moment. Again, Trunks is only a little bit stronger than Gohan. Gohan's potential is abnormally high, and even though Trunks just now got his potential unlocked, Gohan is still a beast. So Gohan caught up, he just didn't catch up all the way. Very much similar to that of the anime and the manga. With everybody now feeling a little bit more secured about the powerhouses that they have on the team, everyone gets healed up and ready to go. The roster for the Universe 7 team now consists of Goku, Vegeta, Trunks, Gohan, Piccolo, 18, 17, Krillin, Tien, and Master Roshi. The tournament starts and everybody beams up and goes away to the stage where the tournament is being held. Shortly after the rules are being explained about how no one can have external weapons and there is no flying, the battle soon commences. And just like how in the manga and the anime, Gohan first suggests for everyone to work as a team. But as we all know, Goku, Vegeta, 17, and 18 aren't going to do that, so they immediately leave. Trunks, however, stays, mostly because he likes the idea of teamwork and he respects Gohan's decisions. Now, because Piccolo, Trunks, and Gohan are all working together, handling the strong opponents from all the other universes, while Tien, Roshi, and Krillin are using their techniques to give support, aka sealing people away or blinding them, they're able to easily handle most opponents in this tournament. And before you know it, they knock out most of Universe 9. And they do this without Trunks or Gohan ever going full power. All that is left is the Trio brothers. But before they are finished off, Frost knocks out Krillin with a sneak attack, thinking that Krillin is the strongest of the weak humans. Frost then tries to fight Roshi and Tien, while Trunks, Piccolo, and Gohan are fighting the Trio brothers. However, because each of them are fighting the Trio brothers separately, because they are smart enough to divide them up and disrupt the Trio brothers' teamwork, it takes nothing but a moment for those Trio brothers to get knocked out, which fully eliminates Universe 9 from the tournament. And not long after that, Frost is next to go, while Gohan, powering up just for a little bit, quickly dispatch Frost and get him out of the stage also. By the time this is all said and done, Krillin is the only person from Universe 7 who has actually fallen out, instead of Krillin and Tien in the original version of the manga. For Goku and Vegeta, their part plays out roughly the same as we all remember, with Goku fighting Jiren after Hit has been taken out already, and Vegeta fighting T.O.P. Number 17 takes out a few people easily. Android 18 fights the Little Love Squad. However, this is when an invisible opponent shows up and knocks out all 4 of them, making the Love Trio and Android 18 eliminated from the tournament. Just like in the original, everybody panics by this invisible person that is suddenly knocking everybody out of the ring. 2 more people get knocked out from Universe 10, leaving only 1 person from Universe 10 remaining. Piccolo calms everybody down by telling them to just sense for this person's energy, mostly because most people don't know how to conceal their energy, like the Z Warriors figured out and learned how to do. Once everybody calms down and Piccolo starts sensing out the energy, Piccolo quickly deduces where the invisible man is at, and he is sorely taken out soon after. Everybody's relieved that the invisible person is gone, but only momentarily when another seemingly invisible person shows up and knocks Piccolo out after Piccolo misjudged where this guy was at. Turns out not only this person is hard to see, but no one really can gauge how tall or how small this thing is. So the odds of you hitting him has gone down severely. This is where Trunks' training actually comes in. 17 doesn't actually have to get involved in this, for Trunks is already right here in this little squabble. And when Trunks senses for this person's energy and can feel that they jumped into the air, that is when Trunks unleashes his telekinetic shove, taking advantage that this unseeable opponent can't fly, and shoves them completely out of the ring. At this point, only Piccolo and Krillin have been knocked out from Universe 7. Things go a little bit more differently from here than the original manga. Tien is the next to go, because I imagine that the person from Universe 10 will ask Tien for a warrior to warrior fight, and Tien will feel pretty much obligated to do so. The last warrior from Universe 10 is a little bit stronger than Tien. However, even though Tien loses the fight, he is still able to take out this warrior with him, making it so that everyone in Universe 10 has been ringed out, and so Universe 10 is now eliminated. 17 goes on to fight some of the Pride Troopers from Universe 11. This is where Trunks fights Khalifa, while Gohan fights Kale and Kaba, and also fighting the remaining Universe 4 members. Slowly, Gohan is powering up a little bit more so that way he can handle everybody at the same time, and he's knocking Universe 4 members out pretty much left and right. Gohan also notes that Kale is a very advanced fighter, more so than Kaba it seems to be, so Gohan actually keeps his eyes on Kale a lot more than he would Kaba. Khalifa is fighting Trunks, and she has noticed that Trunks hasn't even transformed yet, and she's getting a little mad about this because she's thinking that she's being looked down upon. So she tries a little bit harder. Kale, watching this, is a little bit worried for her sister, but she can't really do nothing at the moment because Gohan is taking up all the attention as he is slowly knocking out more and more people and is pushing Kale and Kaba on the back foot at the same time. In order to get the fight over with and to help Gohan finish up his end of the fight, Trunks actually unleashes his own potential. His hair stands up and it's all spiky, but his hair color is still blue, but it has a special shine to it. Caulifla can sense that he got a power up, but she still doesn't understand what exactly is happening. That is until Trunks is done playing around and starts putting her on the back foot and eventually knocks her out of bounds. This happens relatively easy and fast because unlike when Frieza was swapped in, Frieza tortured Caulifla on and on for an extended period of time, giving Kale plenty of opportunity to get mad. In this iteration though, Trunks isn't playing around. He doesn't like playing games, and he's really not fighting for the fun of it. He respects his opponents, but he also wants to win this for his family. Seeing Caulifla get knocked out of bounds, Kale gets super angry and distracted and tries to go for Trunks. However, before she can do too much or even get halfway there, Gohan, also at full power, decides to knock Kale out and exploit the opening that Kale has presented him, and then proceeds to throw her also out of bounds. This leaves Kaba, who fights with everything that he has, under Vegeta's watchful gaze, but ultimately it doesn't do much, and then that's when Trunks and Gohan both knock out Kaba and the remaining of the Universe 4, with Universe 4 being completely eliminated. So in this iteration, we do not see the fusing Kefla because, again, like I said, the only reason Kefla was even allowed to happen is because Kale had a lot of opportunity to get mad because Frieza was towing around with the Saiyans. Mostly because Frieza is a little sadistic. Trunks nor Gohan wouldn't have gave the Saiyans from Universe 6 any time to get any of these power boosts. To me, Kefla seems very unlikely to even happen. Even though they still would have had the Pretorian earrings, they wouldn't have had the time to use it, nor would they would have had the time to discuss it. Moving on from there, it starts to get simple all over again. Goku fights Jiren while Gohan and Roshi gets rid of the last of the Pride Troopers. Vegeta is fighting T.O.P and effectively won his fight, while Trunks and Android 17 are both fighting Dispo, using a little bit of a tag team against him. Master Roshi decides to show Goku how to truly move his body, but then after the showcase, shortly after, Master Roshi is also knocked out of bounds. This leads Goku to unlocking Ultra Instinct, at least partially. But again, as in the manga, it really doesn't last long and Goku gets knocked down once again. Vegeta, seeing Goku getting a massive power up, but then shortly losing, enrages Vegeta because he doesn't think himself lesser than Goku, so he himself powers up and unlocks his Royal Blue transformation, almost knocking T.O.P out of bounds in the process. Then Vegeta fights Jiren, and while they are fighting, Gohan looks at the weakened T.O.P, destroys the platform, so that way T.O.P also falls out of bounds, making T.O.P eliminated. And it doesn't take too long after that where full powered Trunks and Android 17 are fighting Dispo, and eventually Dispo also gets knocked out. 17 makes the remark on how strong Trunks has gotten, and Trunks in return says that he never really imagined that he and 17 would be fighting together in order to save their own universe. At this point though, Jiren has beaten Vegeta and sees that he is the only Pride Trooper left, and whoever is left in the field are really the strongest of Universe 7. Seeing this, Jiren quickly attacks Android 17 and Trunks with a sneak attack, knocking them away from each other. Trunks, seeing Jiren near his vicinity, tries to sense for Goku and Vegeta, wondering what happened to them. He relaxes once he knows they're still in the ring, but he also notices that they are a little bit weakened. With this knowledge, Trunks asks 17 to hold off Jiren. 17 understands what's about to happen and he gets to work, while Trunks goes off to Goku and Vegeta and starts to heal them. This is another thing where Trunks actually comes in clutch. This is the first time anyone has been seriously injured in the Universe 7 before they got ringed out, and Trunks can actually display his healing powers. And because Trunks has trained, he can actually fully heal Goku and Vegeta, though Trunks will be a little bit weak after he does this. Back to Android 17 and Jiren's fight, Jiren notices that there's something a little bit off, and he glances over at the time, realizing that there's not much left and that everybody is probably stalling and hiding from him, so that way they can win by majority of numbers. Jiren is not having this, so he tries to finish off 17 immediately. That is when Gohan joins into the fight, and Gohan and Android 17 decide to tag team Jiren. Eventually, During this tag team, Gohan is slowly taking the lead, getting stronger and stronger with every exchange of blows. Jiren is shocked by how there is a third person who is getting to Goku's Ultra Instinct level, and it seems like this mysterious Gohan is actually gaining ground and is getting stronger at an exponential rate. That is when Jiren has a flashback to what Vegeta said to him about how Saiyans evolve as they fight, and they only get stronger and stronger during each encounter. Jiren concludes that Gohan is probably the biggest threat of them all, and he needs to get out of the ring so that way he's not a problem down the road. This leads Jiren to immediately going all out against Android 17, slapping him to the ground and then pushing him to the side so that way he can fully focus on Gohan and get him out of bounds relatively quickly. Gohan is caught off guard, and with Jiren finally going fully all out, Gohan is more or less pretty much a punching bag at this point. With this, Gohan is slowly being pushed further and further to the edge of the ring. However, before he's actually fully knocked out, that is when Jiren feels a slash across his back, and behind him is Trunks with a blade materialized out of Trunks' own energy. This blade is as solid looking as the weapons that Gaz wields in the Granola arc. Even though Trunks has a weapon, this is within the bounds of the rules because he made it himself out of his own energy. Jiren, seeing that the situation is becoming increasingly unfavorable to his position and he is working harder and harder to fight these ever-evolving Saiyans and nuisance Android 17, tries to push everyone away from him. Seemingly out of nowhere, this is where Android 17 truly shines once again. For 17 takes the majority of the blast that Jiren unleashes, saving at least Vegeta and Trunks from massive injury. This leaves everybody thinking that 17 has been destroyed, but just like in anime, this is not against the rules because 17 decided to implode against Jiren's own blast, so that way everybody behind 17 would be relatively safe. So the Grand Priest allows Jiren to keep on fighting. Goku tells Gohan to wait here as he wants to get one more round in to really see what he can do against Jiren before anyone can do anything else. The clock is ticking though, and they have less than 2 minutes, but Goku still wants to at least attempt because he was so close to understanding this new transformation, or at least this new power. Goku enters the semi-Ultra Instinct state again and fights Jiren head on, and they're actually pretty much equal to each other, but Goku's body is fully healed, so he can actually go the distance. The entire time, Goku is trying to figure out why Ultra Instinct doesn't feel completely whole yet, and with less than a minute left to go, instead of Goku figuring out the transformation, he actually starts to panic, which actually ends the transformation earlier than it should. Trunks, Gohan, 17, and Vegeta all see this and realize that Goku is in danger, and that is when they decide to stop doing one-on-ones and everybody decides to tag team Jiren. 17 saying that he will support everyone from the sidelines as he's a little bit more hurt than he led on, so he's going to stay from a relatively safe place and at least attempt to stay in the ring. This leaves Vegeta, Gohan, and Trunks all rushing Jiren before he can take out Goku and bombarding him with an explosive tag team. At this point, everyone is exhausted besides Vegeta. Vegeta again is actually fully healed, so during this team fight, Vegeta is actually taking the lead, and with everyone's help, they push Jiren all the way to the edge. During this fight, Goku and Gohan both see that in terms of the energy reserves left in the tank, Vegeta is in the lead with Trunks being a little bit behind. This leaves Gohan to suggesting to Goku that they should do whatever it takes so that way Vegeta and Trunks can get Jiren out of the ring. This is when Gohan and Goku both grab onto Jiren, while Trunks and Vegeta, father-son duo, prepare a got-a-gun attack. Goku screams, "Don't hold anything back," and Vegeta turns royal blue. Trunks also goes full power. This is where they unleash their father-son got-a-gun attack. This attack is landing and it hits, but Jiren is still somehow in the ring. They have less than 30 seconds now. This is when Trunks digs in really deep. He taps into a little bit of the God Ki that he kind of senses within him, and the rest of his body is starting to outline with a little bit of blue energy, similar that to Super Saiyan Blue. With his last little shove, they are able to fully push out Jiren, along with Goku and Gohan. This leaves in the ring 17, Trunks, and Vegeta, all tapped out, all tired. And with that, the tournament of power is now officially over, leaving Trunks, Android 17, and Vegeta as the last remaining participant. But they only have one wish that they can choose from. Vegeta not really caring for a wish, and 17, all he wants is a boat, which Trunks' family can easily provide him. Trunks decides to just have everybody wish back, which plays exactly the same as the manga and the anime. With everything concluded and all the universes wished back, everybody now goes back to their respective universes a little bit stronger than before, especially the Saiyans. A lot of people from every universe now knows how insanely powerful Saiyans can truly be. The Saiyans from Universe Universe 6 now have a goal, and now they want to strive for new heights, seeing how strong the Universe 7 Saiyans were. Speaking of Universe 7, everybody now goes back to their usual training and or duties, with Trunks now going into his last stage of apprenticeship, seeing how he learned that almost everything else that the Kais can teach him, and now officially enters a new stage of peace. During this time, while Vegeta and Goku are training on Whis' planet, Beerus remarks on how strong every Saiyan is, and how he kind of wished there were more Saiyans to test his strength against, seeing how even though Goku and Vegeta, Trunks, and Gohan are all strong, it seems like it's still going to take a while, and he might have to fight all of them all at the same time in order to get any enjoyment. Whis, upon hearing this, says, well, given how resilient these Saiyans are, there actually very well could be a couple more out there in our universe. We just haven't searched hard enough.